Okay, in this video, we're going to look at conditional statements. So this is another way of combining logical statements, but it's combining them with a condition. Okay, so this is creating a logical statement where if one thing is true, you get one result. If another thing is true, you get another result. Okay, so a conditional statement is a statement of the form if A, then B, else C. Okay, and this is the kind of formal way to write it down, but don't be intimidated by this. You see statements like this all the time. So an example of a statement like this would be, if it is sunny today, we will go to the park. Otherwise, we'll watch a movie. Okay, so this is a conditional statement where we've got our A, if it is sunny today, that's A. If that is true, then B, we will go to the park. Otherwise, which is another word for else, we'll watch a movie. Okay? So if A is true, if it's sunny today, we'll go to the park. Otherwise, we'll watch a movie. This is a conditional statement. Okay? And so conditional statements are kind of a way of making a decision, right? And so they give us a choice between if this is true, we do this. If this is true, we do this. Another example of a conditional statement, if you buy more than 30 t-shirts, they cost $8 each. Otherwise, they're $10 each. Okay, so this is a little bit more of a mathematical statement. If you buy more than 30 t-shirts, they cost $8 each. If you buy less than 30, they cost $10 each. Okay? And so you could ask, like, how much is, say, 20 t-shirts? Or 40 t-shirts? Right? And so if you buy 20, that's less than 30. So you're in this situation where they cost $10 each. So 20 times 10 is $200 for 20 t-shirts. 40 t-shirts, though, is more than 30, so they cost $8 each. Okay? So 40 times 30, times 8, rather, is $320. Okay, so it's $320 for 40, or it's $200 for 20. And so which one you use depends on the conditional statement. Okay? And so one way that conditional statements, you can imagine statements like this pop up all the time, right? If you've ever bought t-shirts or something like that, you know that they're priced like this. The more you buy in a bulk order, the less you spend. Okay? And so we can put conditional statements like this into programs like at Microsoft Excel, spreadsheet programs. Okay? And so in Microsoft Excel, for example, there's a function. So if you've used Excel before or any spreadsheet program, you write an equal sign and then you write some function. In Excel, the if function takes in a condition, and then it does one thing if it's true. So this is the result if that condition is true, and then another result if that condition is false. Okay? And so in the example of our t-shirt sales that we just looked at, we might say if our condition would be that the number of t-shirts is greater than 30. Okay? And so in Excel, you would have that number of t-shirts in a cell somewhere. Let's say it's in the cell A1. So every cell in Excel is labeled with a letter and a number, if you haven't seen that before. So maybe our number of t-shirts is in A1, and so you might say if A1 is greater than 30, your cost per t-shirt is $8. If it's less than 30, your cost per t-shirt is $10. And so what this is going to do is it's going to look at the value in cell A1, and if the value in cell A1 is like 20, it's going to say, oh, they cost 10 because that's not less than 30. If the value is 40, it's going to give you 8. Okay? And you can combine this with other things. So for example, if you took this, so this is the cost per t-shirt. If A1 is the number of shirts, well, you can take that number of shirts, A1, and multiply it times this. And so if you write equals A1 times if A1 greater than 30, 8, 10, this is going to take the value in A1, so the number of shirts that you've sold, and multiply it times either 8 if A1 is greater than 30, or 10 if A1 is less than 30. So it replaces this whole thing with either 8 or 10 depending on the condition. Okay? And so this will give you the cost of A1 shirts. Okay? So this is really very useful. You can also combine, so our conditions, we can put things together with and. These are logical statements in Excel. And so there's an and function in Excel. So you could do something like if A1 and A1 greater than 30, A1 less than 40, 10, or I'm sorry, 8, comma 10. And what this does is this gives you 8 if A1 is greater than 30 and A1 is less than 40. So if it's in the range between 30 and 40, then the price is going to be 8. Otherwise, the price is going to be 10. So if A1 equals 35, this will give you 8. If A1 equals 42, though, if A1 is equal to 42, this statement isn't true. And since this is and this have to both be true. So if this is true, this is false. The whole thing is going to be false. And so it's going to give you the false option, 10. Similarly, if A1 is equal to 28, less than 30 makes this false. This is true. So and is going to be false. And so it's going to give you 10. Okay? There's also an or function. So you could do or, in which case it would give you this one if either of them are true. Okay? And so you can combine all of these together and do some pretty interesting things in Microsoft Excel.